Yes, it's another Arch Linux race, and today we're talking about a lot of the stuff that has changed, as well as some of the cool projects, sort of like a channel update basically. Starting with the configuration that I'm using currently, I've changed color schemes again to duck bones because I've been looking for a good color scheme for weeks now, and I think this is the best one so far. So you've got this neon like color scheme, and someone actually asked me, let's see what it is in the comments. It's actually in some community post. I asked you guys what do you want the video on next, and I will make a video on the comment. So in the post, let's see, where is it? Yeah, here it is. And in this post, someone said, make a theme that looks like alienware. So I actually made this personally for fun, but I think it looks alienware-ish. So there you go, that's your wish fulfilled. And I'll also talk about some of my projects that I've been working on, as well as Chezmoi. Chezmoi is a really great tool. I will make another video on it. Just a quick sing thingy. So this is a quick overview of Chezmoi. It's a .files manager. So I used to use Stow to manage my .files. Stow is a symlink system for .files. And Chezmoi, the way it works is that you Chezmoi add whatever you want. So for example, my zsrc, I can add my nuri config, I can add my Weber config, I can add my Rofi configuration. That's gonna take a little bit of time because I've got lots of stuff in the Rofi configuration, and I can also add Mako and Kitty. And the way Chezmoi works is that once you have this, you will put that in this folder called .local server Chezmoi, and we have a Git repository here. So if I go to this repository, this is managed with Chezmoi, and the cool thing is that you can type one command and it will completely apply the config for you. There's no need. So all you gotta do is type in Chezmoi init on literally any system that's running your Linux, and the repository, which is this one, and we can paste it in, and this will initialize Chezmoi with this repo in this folder. Then I can type in Chezmoi apply, and you'll apply the .files for me. So I actually wrote a script to do this automatically for me. So if I head over to Git and don't ask me how I came up with that name, no idea. So here we have a couple of scripts. I'm used to writing one single script to do all of them, but I decided to use multiple scripts in this case. So let's actually open this up. I can do something like this, scmain.sh. Let's go and open it up. There we go. And what we need is user bin and bash, obviously, and there's some script stuff. And what it's doing is that it's gonna run these scripts. So first we have start.sh. I'll actually just execute it for you, and we can enter in sudo password, and you can sort of see how it looks like. It's gonna install your packages and do all of the stuff that you want. So once it's installed the packages, it will ask you for one thing, which is to initialize the repository. In this case, it's gonna say no because we already have a repository. So that's how the script works. I've made a Git repository for that, and I've also added this very nice neon look to the config. So you've got these shadows here, you've got this very vibrant red border and red accent color. I've also made a new Weber theme. This looks way better in my opinion. So it's a floating bar. So you can see how there's gaps between the bar and the screen edges. And we have some really cool separators here. The way I did that is with the help of a module called separator. So we wanna open up a config, right? And here it is. Here's the custom separator module. I have that in between all of these modules. And if we do actually go into their separator, yeah, there you are. This is all it does. It just echoes this pipe, and that's it. So that's pretty cool. I've got a whole bunch of system trays here. I've obviously got my torrent. I've got OBS Studio, running. I hope it didn't stop the recording. Yeah, it did not stop the recording. We've got Element, which is a matrix client, although I mainly use Cine. So Matrix is basically a free and open source chat platform. I'm trying to move to completely free and open source. So I've switched from Discord to Matrix, although I do actually have a Discord and occasionally I visit Discord but don't do much chatting in there. Most of the time I'm on Matrix, and that's that. I've also got a new wallpaper. So I primarily use DistroTube's wallpapers, but we've got, this very cool one that looks well with my color scheme. And I think there's another version of this. Yeah, there's three versions that I downloaded. So this is like a darker one. Let's see. Yeah, I don't really like the darker one. I just like the default here. And there it is. So that's pretty much it for my wallpaper. And some of you may be wondering what fetch program this is. This is obviously fetch. Distro is obviously Arch Linux. And one thing I've noticed is that my kernel was 6.14.2. So that's pretty cool. I thought it was just 6.14. And I want to talk about some other stuff that was mentioned in this post. So first thing is, have you heard of Garuda Linux? If so, can you make a theme around Garuda Sway version? Like the theming, but the workflow seems daunting in my opinion. So let's actually search up Garuda Linux, right? And I will make some occasionally I will make some Sway races or Hyperland races, because I don't really use one single window manager. I use multiple. Sometimes I launch into DWM. Let's just discover the additions. So we've got Garuda Mocha. I don't like Cat Pucci. Dragonized is using KD Plasma. This is Dragonized Gaming. Is this Hyperland? I have no idea. It's GNOME and Cinnamon. XFCE Sway. Oh, here's the Sway editions. That looks very cool actually. Like the bar and all of that, so I'll try to replicate it. And what's the thing? Buy an idea pad and install TempleOS. Seems kinda crazy, and I said no buying. I can't really buy an idea pad. And the next topic, which is the most interesting one here, is why Windows users are afraid of Linux OS, right? So this topic I haven't really talked about, and I feel like I should be talking about this. The main reason is because they're just scared, right? They think Linux is complex, they've never really tried it. I heavily recommend they try it in a virtual machine, but not like Ubuntu, like a Linux Mint, and not just a virtual machine. Try burning it to a USB stick, and then, booting into the live environment, which the cool thing about Linux is obviously you can have a live environment. You can have Linux running inside of your USB without ever installing it. Try that and maybe install Linux, try a window manager. This is just my path of Linux. I started out with Linux Mint, I think. I'm not sure though. And I installed i3WM in Mint. Well, actually, I installed AwesomeWM because I thought AwesomeWM was easy because it had this panel and widgets and all of that. But AwesomeWM is actually way harder than i3 now that I think about it, and I used default AwesomeWM for a very long time. Then I switched to i3, where I this is where I started rising. So this is where I learned to customize Linux and all of that. Then I moved to Debian, and I recreated my old i3 Rise in Debian, and I was using Debian for a very, very, very long time until I switched to Fedora, I think. And yeah, for a couple of weeks I was using Fedora, and then eventually I switched to Arco Linux. And since Arco Linux got shut down, it's now Arch Linux. So if I do fast fetch -config none, there's Arch Linux. It's in a custom color. That's a alias I made, don't worry about that. So right now I'm using Arch Linux. That's that, and the main reason why Windows users are afraid of Linux are mainly because there's so many choices, right? There's so many distros to pick. There's so many window managers to pick. It's all kind of weird, and these Windows users have been taught that Linux is hard, right? And they don't know nothing about free software because they think proprietary software is fine. In fact, I've seen a lot of Linux users that use proprietary software, and it just makes me sad. Alright, so I just hate when Linux users use proprietary software. Like, I've seen a lot of people use DaVinci Resolve. It's like some sort of video editor. I've used it in Microsoft Windows, but I've never used it in Linux because Kdenlive is way better for Linux. So here we are in Kdenlive. It's also very customizable. For example, in Kdenlive I can simply change the color scheme when I want to. That's pretty cool. Can you do that in DaVinci Resolve? Probably not. Will a video editor care about the color scheme? Also probably not. But there's these little things in Kdenlive that makes it awesome. With the main thing being it's free, it's open source, and it supports Linux very well. And DaVinci Resolve doesn't actually support Linux at all. It's lying to you guys. It doesn't actually support Linux. It's very weird because DaVinci Resolve, while there are free and open source drivers and codecs on Linux, DaVinci Resolve requires the proprietary codecs. So then you'll have to install those, and DaVinci Resolve is gonna make your system entirely proprietary, and it's gonna turn your system into garbage. So don't use it. And another really proprietary application is, of course, Discord. Now, with Discord, I can say it's fine because it's a chat platform that we all use, but you should give a Matrix a try, especially because you can open this up in your browser, stuff like Element or Cine. Just to show you a little bit about Matrix, which I'm not gonna open it up because obviously I don't want to show you a lot of the chats in here. I've only joined about like one Matrix server or space, whatever. It's the Nuri space, Nuri WM's Matrix room. And in Matrix, you can have lots of features, cool features, stuff like read receipts, as well as custom emoji packs that are available globally on pretty much anywhere. Whatever chat you're in, those are available. It's also free and open source. It's decentralized, which means you can have multiple clients for Matrix. So you can have Cine, you can have Element is another one. And that's it for Matrix. Another thing here is, well, is it good? Is it done? Yeah, there's make Linux look like macOS. I've already done that. Let's go through that video actually. It's in my channel. It's actually the most popular video. Yeah, here it is. And so this is my Linux macOS race. So you've got that. It's very similar actually. So that's pretty much it for my macOS race in Linux. At that time I really loved this, but now it's kinda lame. As for some people are saying that macOS is similar to Linux. Absolutely not. It may use like the same Unix based system, but Linux is not Unix based because I'm pretty sure that GNU is like an alternative to Unix, so I'm not sure. Anyways, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and bye bye.